Welcome! Today I want to talk about the coming up solar eclipse in Scorpio and the technicalities of it and what it actually means that it is in Scorpio. So the new moon solar eclipse will be happening November 3rd at exactly 4:49 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will happen at 11 degrees Scorpio in 15 minutes. This is how we all have seen pictures that a solar eclipse is looking like. So the moon is in front of the sun, and I believe this is one of the deeply mysterious events our ancestors have been able to watch in the sky. And so there's this kind of overlay of mystery and secrets. And believe me, when it's happening in Scorpio, it's about unraveling some secrets here. This is Shakti, Carola, Navran. I'm your host for today, and I'm an evolutionary astrologer and published author. So I have been doing astrology for 35 years now, and I'm really amazed what kind of wisdom perspective it is able to provide. So I'm very inspired to do these videos for you, to give you kind of a weather report for the coming up time. So the idea is also to educate and teach a little bit deeper about astrology and inspire you to use it as a wisdom path, as a way to self-inquire and find out those higher possibilities of your being. When we talk about a solar eclipse, we always talk about a new moon solar eclipse, because in order for a solar eclipse to happen, the sun and the moon need to kind of align themselves. So what's happening in a solar eclipse is that the moon is briefly between the sun and the earth. So the moon is covering up the sun, which it only can do because it's approximately the same size from our perspective. So astrologically, the sun and the moon are the two lights, the light of consciousness and the inner emotional dimension. So solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. So the real question is, what does it really mean? What do they do for us? So in a way, both kind of eclipses can be compared to rebooting your computer. Like, you know, sometimes your computer isn't working properly, so we shut it down and it kind of sorts itself out miraculously. So the eclipses kind of do a similar thing. So a solar eclipse kind of reboots your conscious mind, the way you're thinking, your ability to gain a higher, more evolved perspective onto your life. So this glimpse of consciousness shining in a new directions. Or the lunar eclipse reboots your inner world, your unconscious drives, your motivations, and brings those more into your inner awareness. So because of that, both situations, the lunar eclipse as well as the solar eclipse, are quite powerful updates and situations for us. But how that will really play out depends on which sign it is in. So the sign solar eclipse is in will point towards a specific area in your life which will need this rebooting, this gaining of a higher perspective. So this time the solar eclipse is in Scorpio. So it is all about Scorpio astrology, the Scorpio personality. So this is what we want to have a deeper look at in this first part video. And for the practical applications, you need to go to the second part, the second video, where we're going to talk then about the practical solutions and suggestions I have for you. So we're going to talk about the Scorpio archetype. So when we talk Scorpio, Scorpio sign and symbolizes, describes the deepest unconscious corners of our soul. So everything what has to do with death, with sex and the occult. This is the field of Scorpio. So Scorpio is well known to be ruled by Pluto. Before Pluto was discovered, it was ruled by Mars. So today we have a dual rulership, but we pay a lot of attention to Pluto as astrologers because Pluto describes the more transpersonal aspects of the sign of Scorpio. So Pluto describes the archetype, symbolizes those principles. We could look at him as the god of the underworld, the hell realms. So he is well known as the lord of death and rebirth, and therefore he rules all forms of transformation in our life. The Pluto transits we're experiencing throughout our life are describing the most challenging times in our life because we are really confronted with unconscious structures, with deep-seated fears, with trauma, with areas we need to face and integrate and heal. So even if they're the hardest times in our life, they're also the richest times in our life. And this month we have 3 actualizations of the Scorpio theme. We not only have the solar eclipse we're going to talk in depth about today, but we also have Mercury retrograde and the Sun in Scorpio. So this means there is a lot of Scorpio energy going around, and wherever it hits you in your personal chart, you have to face the truth. You have to go deep. You have to invite the god Pluto knocking at your door, wanting to help you to transform and deepen in a specific area in your life. As a water sign, Scorpio is symbolizing what is found in the deepest unconsciousness, in the ground of the ocean, the deepest, darkest mysteries of the human soul. This is Scorpio personality. And as that, the Scorpio personality and the archetypal figures which represent the deep intensity, soul-searching qualities is first of all the shaman. So the shaman is the wisdom teacher, the healer of its tribe. So it's somebody who has wandered those deep inner waters, somebody who might have died and came back to tell and guide others. So the newer version of that is a psychologist, the one we go to when we are ready to take a deeper look at who we are and how we underestimate ourselves. And in order to fully flower in our potential, we often have to do some kind of deep healing work. Also, the hypnotist is somebody who uses his knowledge about how the human conditioning works in a good or in a bad way. It's like with every tool. You can use a knife to stab somebody, and you can use a scalpel to save somebody's life. So all these Scorpio potentials are kind of on that edge of it's about you and your ability, how you're going to use it. Another figure is the detective. The detective who is looking for underlying clues to solve a crime. The one who is maybe undercover in some kind of seedy environment of life. So here you have some kind of archetypal figures. So of course this leads us to a huge potential for shadow. And the Scorpio shadow is bloody, is deep. It has to do with abuse of power and charisma, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, of course, but it can be used just in order to satisfy your own needs and greed for power and money and all the trappings which come with it. So the image of the dictator who's willing to do anything in order to stay in power reminds me to the game of politicians, especially dictatorial societies. Lots of the countries in the Far East probably fall under that shadow, Scorpio shadow area. In the mythology, we're personifying the Scorpio shadow as the sorcerer or the wicked witch. And it can also take a little more gentle way to implement their own wishes and controls. So the seducer is a little bit more skilled, and it might even not look like controlling or abusive. And the underlying force is the same, the willingness to do anything for power. So the higher road for Scorpio is to connect with that inner world of hidden emotions. It's deep psychology, accepting the complexity of our own soul. It's that willingness for that intuitive, deep, intense soul searching. And there is a truly emotional need in Scorpio for truth and honesty. So if you have the sun or the moon or the ascendant or other planets in Scorpio, this is something you need in your life. You need to be truthful yourself, and you need to pull people into your life who are able to hear your truth. You can look into their eyes and you can have that intimacy and depth which comes from being able to be honest. So the high potential of Scorpio can be described with the mythological figure of Phoenix, a phoenix out of the ashes. The old bird throws himself into the fire and the young bird evolves. So it's the oldest symbol for transformation. So Scorpio is the one running on the ground, pulled to the ground by Earth's gravity, and the phoenix flying in the heavens. So this month's Scorpio activation will bring into your consciousness areas which need your conscious attention. And you might have to look at things you haven't been able yet, and now you're ready, and your life's going to present to you situations so you can take the next step. Don't forget to sign up for your subscription if you haven't done so yet, so you will be in the loop for upcoming forecast videos. You can also go to my website and sign up for my newsletter on mauiastrologyreading.com, where you will then get access to your free love stone report, which is based on your Venus position in your birth chart and your horoscope. So if you love gemstones, this is a nice way to find out more about that. So now, please give me thumbs up if you liked it. And of course, if you want to use astrology in a much deeper way, then you want to consider an astrological reading with me with your birth chart. I do readings online through Skype. I have people all over the world, and I always get a kick out of it to talk with people half around the planet. So if that is of interest for you, send me an email. Head over to mauiastrologyreading.com to read a little bit more about what I have to offer. And you can call, I'm in Hawaii, 808-878-8182, and check in with me. I always love to hear feedback. Leave me a comment, let me know what you want me to talk about, because it's really important for me to hear back, because I'm talking to this empty space. So let me know you're out there and connect with me. Thanks so much for visiting with me today. And I really hope you enjoyed this. And as we say on Maui, aloha. And now you can head over to part 2, where we get to the practical suggestions, what to do with all these Scorpio energies. See you over there.